longer does a spiritual search mean that gospel churches are filling up. Instead, it seems that people are willing to search everywhere but there. Of course, as in the 60s, drugs do play a role for many. Scripture tells of an increase in sorceries in the last days. The word sorceries comes from the Greek word pharmakeia, from which we get our word pharmacy. Thus, we know that drugs are at the core of much of the spiritual deception that takes place in the last days.
Once when I was on an acid trip, some voices began speaking to me and telling me about the Om, which is a Hindu mantra that's supposed to be the universal vibration. And these voices instructed me to repeat Om, to chant Om, or just simply to tune into Om by listening. And that if I did so, I would become one with cosmic consciousness. I was amazed to find out that the things that the voices had taught me when I'd taken LSD were actually the teachings of Hinduism.
However, many people today are very concerned about their health and rightly see drugs as dangerous. Therefore, for these millions, meditation, yoga classes, relaxation techniques, and getting in touch with oneself is the order of the day. The spiritual danger, however, is just as grave.
After I got into Hinduism, I quit taking drugs. I got a lot more stoned meditating than I ever had on LSD.
Another similarity that cannot be overlooked is that on all of these paths to enlightenment, spirit guides always play a central role. From one corner of the world to another, and from one technique to another, people are contacting spiritual entities at an alarming rate. Take the testimony of Whitley Strieber, the UFO cultist and popular author of books like Communion. According to Strieber, seeming encounters with non-human beings are not new. They have history dating back thousands of years. What is new in this latter part of the 20th century is that the encounters have taken on an intensity never before experienced by humankind. And what are these space brothers teaching? According to Strieber, the visitors, as he calls them, have told him that Earth is a school, a place where souls are growing and evolving towards some form that we could scarcely begin to imagine. These extraterrestrials may be managing the evolution of humankind. Through her crystals or meditation and her inner search, Shirley MacLaine also claims to have come into contact with a spirit guide. Here is what she's learned. You are everything. Everything you want to know is inside of you. You must never worship anyone or anything other than self, for you are God. To love self is to love God. I know that I exist, therefore I am. I know that the God source exists, therefore it is. Since I am part of that force, then I am that I am. What makes this even more alarming is the fact that in the name of relaxation therapies, many of these same techniques are now being used in public schools all over North America. In one course, Success Imagery, children are placed into an altered state of consciousness through breathing exercises identical to the ones used in yoga. They are then told to imagine themselves in a nice, quiet place. The child is then told, "Now a figure is coming towards you. He is friendly and can be young or old. Speak to the wise person and welcome him into your safe place. Get to know your wise person. You can invite him back anytime."
Who are these wise persons? Well, we can gain an insight into this question when we realize that the same techniques being used to contact these wise persons are also used by mystics, shamans, and occultists to contact their spiritual guides. The late Dr. Beverly Galion, a pioneer in this type of classroom activity, openly admits that they're spirit guides. However, she adds, we don't call them that in the public schools, we call them imagery guides.
No longer is the occult hidden behind basement doors. Today it is in the open and ready to deceive the spiritually hungry.
You know, as you look at all of these New Age techniques that people are utilizing to try to contact some kind of ultimate reality and get in touch with the universe in some way, and you see all the different ways that they're doing it, whether it is some guy taking LSD or PCP, whether it is somebody involved in meditation or in yoga, whether it's the latest corporate seminar or relaxation techniques in the classroom, whether it's somebody trying to channel a spirit and get in touch with the UFO brothers that are out there somewhere, All of these different techniques are leading to the exact same revelation to these people. Whether they're in different parts of the world and they're not in communication with each other and they're using these different techniques, it's all coming back saying, you are God's. The power is within you. Now, isn't it amazing that we see an explosion of this in our generation at the exact same time that all of the other prophecies are being fulfilled? People are using the exact techniques that the Bible calls techniques of the occult, and they're coming up with the exact answer from Genesis chapter 3 that the serpent told to Eve, you shall be as gods, setting the stage for the exact lie to sweep the world again. Looking at Isaiah chapter 47, and I recommend you all read this entire chapter through, but the 12th verse, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. A little further down, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand with thee and save thee from these things. So now, the exact same things are taking place in our world today. Chapter 47 of Isaiah is a description of the New Age movement today. But it's different. Because the stargazers and all that are no longer in the back corner of a circus tent somewhere. Now it's Shirley MacLaine at the Holiday Inn with a brightly lit room and 300 people there paying $500 each to get in touch with their spirit entities. It's come out of the dark, it's come out of the closet and right into the mainstream of our world today.
Well, what it's done is it's moved out of the New Age and into the world of science. And if there is one idol in our society today, it is science. The Bible, however, warns us that while there are legitimate sciences, it also tells us of the oppositions of science, falsely so called. And nowhere is this more evident right now than in the evolution-creation debate. So let's go back to Sue for a look into how the gospel of Antichrist is becoming entrenched in that debate as well.